What is going on, everybody? I know it's late, but I can't sleep. So, what better time than to record my Halo Infinite review? I am Black Bond. You already know, but if you don't know, I'm that guy that plays Halo. 17 hours straight, legendary, front to finish, completed. Yeah, that's me. 7 hours of multiplayer, 5 hours of multiplayer, another 3 hours of side missions at the end of the game. I've played this game front to finish, start to end, alpha to omega, 150 hours. Don't believe me? Here we go. Right here, 150 hours, 87 achievements. I've played the hell out of this game. So, before we get started with the review, you can find my Twitter right here over at the Black Beer Eye. Because, yeah, I'm a Mech Warrior. I love Mech Warrior and Battletech. Got all the Mech Warrior 2s, Mech Warrior 3, Mech Commander, Mech Warrior 4, Vengeance, Black Knight, Mercenaries, and even Mech Assault. Microsoft, get on that, please. And yes, if you didn't think I streamed for 17 hours, as you can see here, we have the real hard 8 times. Did Black Beer Eye really stream for 17 hours on a Friday? Was he held at gunpoint? Because ain't no way in hell he participated willingly in such a social reject activity. Ironically, yes, I did. And if you like our podcast, that is Sundays at 5:45 p.m. Eastern non-Shokyo time, the Weapon Wheel Podcast, one of the premier podcasts here in the gaming scene on YouTube. We do have a Patreon. If you like supporting us, you like our content, you want to do a little, get a little extra content with that After Dark, 343 Patreons, always looking to get it higher, and we appreciate the support. So, I am going to play my live stream in the background so y'all have something to look at while I talk about this game. Because I'm about to give you a very comprehensive review of Halo Infinite from a day one Halo fan. Now, I've played all of the Halo games. Played them LAN in high school, started with Combat Evolved, played LAN over networks in college with Combat Evolved, even Halo 2, and played online in the college dorms in Halo 2. Yes, when people were BXRing and standbying and doing all kinds of whack cheat crap, trying to get host or boost out other people so they can get an unfair advantage in multiplayer. Been there, done that, open mic. I was there from the very beginning. And like I said, I've beaten every game on Legendary. Excuse me. I even streamed this game on Legendary, 17 hours straight, start to finish, front to end, beginning to completion. There's a reason I was nicknamed Halo on the college campuses at University of Pittsburgh. Now I'm going to come out right on and early and say that this is a good game. It's a very good game. It's not a great game, but it's a very good game. It's a game that has a solid foundation, but unfortunately it's missing a lot of content. The game is better than Halo 4. Can't stand the Didac. It is better than Halo 5. Can't stand Locke. But it is not better than Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, or Halo Reach. Multiplayer can be debatable with Halo Reach. Now, if you don't believe me, well, I really don't know what to tell you. Because I've been playing Halo since day one. I've been playing the game. I already showed you. We got 150 hours in the game. Got all these achievements, got all these playtime. What am I, a Diamond 5 right now? We in here. We doing work. So, to start off this review, as I've stated, I've already put in 150 hours into the game between multiplayer and single player. Finished the campaign in 17 hours, one sitting. Doing only main missions and only upgrading the shield. So yes, for all you Peter Parker wannabes that were swinging around with the upgraded grapple hook, I did not have that. Finished all of it. I have 73% of the achievements. That's without even hunting them. So before I hear anybody crying and complaining about my opinion, I know what I'm talking about. Now the gameplay. The gameplay is absolutely amazing. It's Halo. You can't mess it up. 343 has emulated what Bungie has created perfectly. Everything you love about Halo is here. Unless you're one of those weirdos that likes dual wielding. Guns and grenades, vehicles, tactical battles, a nice variety of guns with only a few crappy ones. And some that I really like that are missing, the carbine. Carbine, yeah, I want that gun back. It's all here. I like the missions that have destroying high value targets, to get those upgrades and special weapons. Grappling is fun. Grappling in battles is amazing. Grappling across terrain is probably the best thing Halo has ever done. It's the best new addition to the Halo game. Master Chief pretty much is now Spider-Man. He is the new Peter Parker. He is a better Spider-Man than Marvel's Avengers Spider-Man. So, the gameplay is solid, the performance is solid, the graphics are clean, the game plays well, there's not a lot of new bullcrap, it's nice, it's fair, it's balanced, it's Halo. And I want to make that clear to everybody, this is a very good game that plays very well. Unfortunately though, with positives, does come the negatives. And the biggest negative is, this game is clearly unfinished and cut down. Vehicle projectiles simply vanish in the distance. Pop-in is everywhere. Draw distance is extremely short, even on the PC. Friendly AI is absolutely brain dead and worse than prior games. They don't get into vehicles. They have a hard time finding cover. They have a hard time shooting back at enemies. They have a hard time using Warthog gun turrets. It can be miserable and very frustrating. Dropships, they don't even have an explosion animation. It simply triggers a flashbang, the screen turns white, and poof, they disappear. There are no variations in the game's environment. From the very start of the game to the end, outside of the beginning installation, and the ending installation, there's really no change in any environment. There's no snow, there's no desert, there's no jungles, there's no marshes, there's no city-urban environments. It's literally just one level. It almost looks like it's procedurally generated. It's very disappointing when you take it like that. The first hour is boring as hell. It almost put me to sleep. Vehicles are somewhat useless because of the terrain. The game's environment and terrain, with all the rocks, the hills, the ledges, the rubble, the tree stumps that you can't ride over, the indestructible trees that will stop a scorpion tank. Yeah, the game literally does not feel like it's designed for vehicles. Good luck, trying to drive a scorpion anywhere. You're not going to get far. It's actually quicker just to grapple places, unless you can fly. Unless you're using a flying vehicle, a mongoose, or a ghost, you're pretty much shit out of luck. And if you're trying to be in combat, the best vehicle is clearly the Razorback. And that is the Warthog that has no gun turret or no rocket on the back. You just load up your Razorback either with all snipers or all skewers, and you just destroy everything. If you have all snipers, they will obliterate any infantry in your way. If you have all skewers, they can literally one-shot dropships and any vehicle in your path. It's literally unfair. It kind of like breaks the game. Unfortunately, it might take you a couple minutes to actually go to one of your FOVs or FOBs to get out the proper items, arm your troopers up. You got to get them in the vehicle because you got to stand next to them and honk for a minute because they're brain dead and they won't do anything. It's just a mess. But Once you get it going, you're pretty much unstoppable. You can even take out high value targets in a instant with these kind of setups. There's only 3 kinds of side missions, and they get very repetitive quickly, unfortunately. The boss fights, oh my god, can we talk about the boss fights? They don't even feel like they belong in Halo. It's like Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. Like, they had to make the director's cut because the bosses didn't even feel like they were part of the game. They just felt like an afterthought. And that's exactly how I feel about the bosses in this game. Changing equipment, it's very cumbersome. There had to be a better way for them to figure out how to switch grenades and for them to figure out how to switch equipment. Literally, outside of using the threat sensor on 2 bosses, you use the grapple hook. Drop shield, useless. Muda, whatever you want to call it. Useless. Threat sensor, good for 2 bosses. The dashing thing, even the double dash, Mario Kart double dick rider double dash, useless. The fastest way to evade, the fastest way to transverse, the fastest way from point A to B is the grappling hook. The dash is absolutely pointless. And oh, get this, people? Even with the lack of features and the lack of polish and finish, there's no co-op. Yeah, no co-op in a Halo game. Now, the multiplayer is, once again, absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with its return to form. Its return to the Halo 3 days. Excuse me. I do have small complaints with things like, the drop wall as opposed to the bubble shield. I think the bubble shield is absolutely hilarious and fun. I want the bubble shield back. It makes multiplayer actually very fun. They found a way to make sprinting work, and that's actually a huge plus for me. The ability to run around and slide is actually cool, climbing around. The weapons are nice and balanced. There's nothing really unfair or OP. There's no noob combos. The plasma pistol doesn't really have a lot of tracking anymore. So overall, I like the multiplayer. And yeah, I've put over 100 hours into it, so I like the multiplayer. But once again, unfortunately, with the positives comes the negatives. Let's be real, people. The gameplay is great, but the multiplayer is free to play and bare bones. Earning EXP online is a grind, and the Battle Pass rarely rewards you unless you're literally playing this game via part-time job hours. You get 3 game modes: quick play, big team battle, and ranked play. No team slayer, no SWAT, no griffball, no free-for-all, no forge, no infection, and many other game modes from prior games are downright missing. There's not even a lot of maps. You can get stuck in oddball or teams. Actually, don't get stuck in Team Slayer. I wish you did. But territories and stuff, you can get stuck in certain game modes over and over and over. And if you're trying to complete these stupid challenges, I just recommend that you go into quick play, get them out of the way. That way you're not trying to do dumb shit in a ranked game, because, that was actually a problem with me. Problem with other people too. This is straight up a bare bones package that, if it didn't have the exceptional gameplay that is Halo, would get destroyed. If it was any other game, it would get obliterated. Okay, next up we have the graphics. And look, unfortunately, the graphics are nothing exceptional to look at. It probably looks like a middle-of-the-pack game from last generation. It's nice and clean, and on my PC, 1440p, max settings, 120 frames. The game isn't still anything I would say is a big looker. Thankfully, it's nice and clean. The presentation is nice, crisp, and clear. It runs well. I don't have any performance issues, so that I can say is very good. But as I said prior, the pop-in is crazy. The effects can be lacking. Drop ships literally flash and disappear. The graphics literally don't look finished at times. The sound is great. The explosions, the effects, the gunshots, and we're at a pause screen, not doing anything. Let's fast forward to a boss fight, which this guy was probably mopping me for a little bit. I didn't know what I was doing until I played Ring Around the Rosie with him. Then we probably got more boss fights. We'll fast forward that. We don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So where was I? Oh, sound, yeah. Explosions, gun effects, vehicles, sound effects. All great. It all sounds amazing. The main issue with the sound is the music. And unfortunately, like Metroid Dread, the music in this game is the weakest by far in the entire series. There's no like lost muse. There's like none of that battle music. Like Halo has all of these amazing themes and orchestras, and it amps you up for these awesome, intense, big battles and everything. Some, unfortunately, like the rock music got taken out of the Master Chief Collection, but all of these musical scores and all those prior, like, memorable themes, they only play in this game a few times. It's very disappointing. Excuse me. I need to get some water or crack one open, but it's like 1:50. Can't do that tonight. So the story. Story in Halo has never been amazing. Don't get that twisted with the lore being absolutely incredible. But, you gotta read the books, you gotta go elsewhere to find it. I really like the weapon. She's funny, her dialogue is lighthearted. I think she complements the Chief better than Cortana. The Chief is more or less the same, tough, smart, one-liner. He's always been straight, quick to the point. I like it. He's evolved a little bit, but more or less, he's about business. He's not about goofing off. He's straight and direct to the point. Echo 216 can be silly, but he rounds out the cast. He's, well, you don't want to spoil it, but the way he acts is how he should act. Until later, then they're like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense, but I digress. The brutes and other bosses, they're well done. I mean, they act like brutes should act. Elites act like elites should act. They're arrogant, honorable, they call you coward, they want to fight, they want to prove themselves. Brutes are big, tough, aggressive bullies, and you know what? I'm up for it. One thing I know about it, but it's never really explained in the game for the player. The brutes and the Sankili, the elites, they don't get along. And yet, the elite were the main dudes until the brutes took over, and the brutes are the main dudes here. But it doesn't explain to the player in the story why these particular elites want to work with the brutes. It doesn't. Don't know why, but it doesn't. So, can't really complain. It does a satisfactory job. I wish I could have fleshed out, some more things, like the whole thing with Atriox in the beginning. That could have been a fun battle to play and lose. All the Spartans dying, where you get their upgrades and everything, those could have been fantastic cutscenes to see how they died in battle. Could have been. And it also could have hyped up the bosses that killed them. Could have really did a lot with that, but they chose not to. So, my final thoughts on this game. Final thoughts on this game. Oh boy. Oh boy. A lot of you may be thinking I'm being way too critical on this game. Way too critical. But Halo is one of my favorite franchises in gaming, so like a Metroid, like a Zelda, like a Fire Emblem, I'm going to be very critical because I want the most out of this kind of game. But I can't be further from the truth. I don't hate this game. I don't dislike this game. I put in 150 hours in this game, and I'm still going to play this game, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to have my criticisms. And the honest truth is, this game could have used another year in the oven. Which is crazy because it had 5 years and $500 million in it already. But the lack of multiplayer modes and options and features and co-op really hurt this game. The multiplayer is great, but once again, I feel that it's rushed. It's bare bones. It's lacking. It needs its soul back. And lastly, this is going to be very controversial, but I don't think open world works for Halo. I mean, I love having giant sprawling levels like the very first level of Halo Combat Evolved, but I don't think we need open world in Halo. With prior Halo games, you had memorable missions that people love and can tell you about. The Silent Cartographer, the Covenant, where you had to battle 2 scarabs with a whole assault ordnance and everything. Assault on the control room, the Pillar of Autumn, Truth and Reconciliation, the Ark, definitely not the Library. And the fact that the Flood aren't in this game, I don't care if it's a spoiler or not, the fact that they are not in this game is a huge plus. But sadly, you couldn't name me one mission in this game. Not one mission, if you could, even if you tried. And that's simply because there aren't any memorable missions in this game. Unlike past games where you could play memorable missions over and over and over, not only can you not replay missions in this game, none of them really aren't that memorable, people. That's the honest truth. So my final score for this game is an 8. And it's a very disappointing 8. Because while it's better than Halo 4 and better than Halo 5, it is not better than Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, or Reach. Better multiplayer than Reach, but definitely not a better campaign than Reach, especially Reach's 4-player campaign. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but it's only good simply because Halo's gameplay is amazing. It's tried and true. It's proven. But the reason this game is disappointing is because it had the potential. The potential not only to be a way better game than what we actually got, but the potential to have possibly have been the best Halo game we ever could have got. And that's why I wish this game was delayed another year, because this could have been the very best Halo game ever made. I'm Black Bond. I'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy, enjoy your night, or in this case, enjoy your morning.